Hello students, Michael Sanchez here. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a while since I've done a class that's going to be posted on YouTube. Actually, last week I did try to do so, but we had some issues with the uploading. Today we're actually using Zoom, which is a new platform that I'm going to start probably using for courses here on my site at violintutorpro.com. I wanted to give you guys a nice lesson today on rhythm, as many of you guys have asked me about this week, and I think I have a really good organized method to understand rhythm. Unfortunately, I think for some of you guys, it's going to maybe feel a little bit overwhelming if you haven't ever had a lesson on rhythm. But for some of you guys, this might really click in understanding exactly how to count in certain pieces. So maybe what I'll do is I'll start off real simple, and I'll maybe just include some basic rhythms and then kind of talk about how to count them. And then we'll kind of go more complex as the lesson goes on. Okay, so let's first deal with quarter notes and eighth notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out one quarter note, followed by two eighth notes, followed by two quarter notes. So here's the rhythm. This is going to be more of a basic rhythm. For those of you guys that don't know, this is a quarter note, one beat. These are eighth notes, quarter note, quarter note. So total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 beats in the whole measure. So typically, you have either 3 or 4 beats in a measure. This is going to be 4 beats. So the question is, how do I count this efficiently and equivalently? So what's really important when you count is that everything is staying equivalent. So whatever you start the piece, that's the tempo you want to stay at, no matter what. So let's say I decide to start the piece at this speed. Bum, bum, bum. Then this rhythm is going to be bum, 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 bum. Let's say I decide to start the piece slower. Bum, 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 bum. Then this is going to go bum, 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 bum. Now, a way to be able to do this, and not slow down or not speed up, is to do tapping your foot. So you can't see my foot right now, but I'm going to actually bob my head to the beat of the piece, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just bob to the piece. That's exactly what you guys should be doing in your foot, tapping to the piece, tapping to the beat. So no matter what you're playing on the violin, you should always be tapping the same. And that's what's tricky for a lot of students, is that when they start doing different things, different fingers, thinking about different techniques, it's hard for them to have that steady beat. But no matter what happens, the foot always is moving at the same speed, whatever speed you decide to go at. So you shouldn't be starting maybe this speed and then by the end you're going this, or you're going slow. It should be the same from the start of the piece to the end. So I'm going to actually bob to this rhythm. And I want you guys to notice that it's always bobbing at the same tempo, the same pace. I'm actually going to do it maybe a couple of times, kind of wrap the rhythm like this. Bum, 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 bum. It's like that. And the more that you do that equivalent throughout the whole piece, and this applies to all music, the more musical it's going to sound, the better it's going to sound. I can't tell you how many students, even ones that have been playing a long time, they tend to not follow this method. They kind of just play as they go. If a certain section is hard, they tend to slow down because it's hard. Or if a section is really easy, they tend to speed it up. So for example, let's say you have a series of what we call whole notes. Whole notes are actually signified by circles, which are much slower than this. This is 4 beats, this is 1 beat. So you have to hold this 4 times as long as one of these. This is equivalent to the same amount of time that I played this, a whole note. So I have 3 whole notes right now. I can't tell you how many students, when they have this rhythm, for example, they would rush it. It's easy, right? It's just 3 notes, no big deal. But instead of actually keeping the tempo, they would rush. So if I'm going here, if I'm going bum, 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 then this is going to have to go bum, bum. But I see all the time students go, they're going maybe bum, 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 and then they go bum, 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 all the time. So, and whole notes are long, but this also maybe applies to if you have half notes, for example. So now these are 2 beats. So for every 2 of these, you have 1 of these. So if you're going bum, 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 then this is bum, bum, like that. So this is, you know, something that's going to take time to develop. And, you know, if you're not comfortable playing the violin yet, you're probably not going to be able to do all these things at once. But what I would suggest, if you're having trouble doing it all at once, is doing clapping. So this particular rhythm or any of your particular songs, instead of playing, I'm sure you can clap. I'm sure you've done a fair amount of clapping in your life. So try to actually clap the notes in the song that you're dealing with, but also keep the beat going. So it'd be bum, 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 like that. So any piece that you guys are working on, you could apply this concept of clapping. The next thing you could do on top of that after clapping is plucking. That's, you know, simplifying music. You know, instead of doing the bow, you can pluck. And then the next thing you could do is the bow, obviously, once you feel like you get the rhythm. Very good. So this is kind of some beginner, you know, concepts on this. Let me go into something a little more advanced now. I won't spend a ton of time on it, but maybe this is something that you guys can kind of see if you're more beginner that you're going to eventually be learning in the future. So let's take another piece of paper, and let's take, I'll say intermediate / you know, advanced rhythm. We're going to do a dotted quarter note, followed by a quarter note, followed by an eighth note, followed by, let's say, a 16th note, 8th note. Let's see, 2, 16th note. I got to make sure this is equivalent. 2 beats, 3, 4. Okay. Let's take this rhythm. If you guys are just beginning, this is going to seem pretty challenging. This is a dotted quarter note. This is 1.5 beats. This is a quarter note, 1 beat. This is an 8th note, half a beat. 16th note, quarter note, 16th note. So total 1.5 plus 0.5 is 2 plus 3. This should actually be, sorry, 8th note. So now we have 4 total beats in this measure. Let's write down below exactly the value. So we have 1.5. And this is actually something you guys should do in your pieces. Write down the exact values of the rhythms you're dealing with. 1.5, 1, 0.5, 0.25, 0.5, 0.25. Okay, so if I asked you to count this, literally, you couldn't do it. You know, how do you count to 1.5? How do you count to 0.5? How do you count to 0.25? It's virtually impossible. And just as impossible, if you don't have a system of counting, I'm guaranteeing you have trouble playing this rhythm. So a lot of times in music, what happens is students, you know, they get overwhelmed with a certain rhythm, and instead of trying to break it down, they just kind of pass through it, hope they're doing it right, even though if they're not doing it right. But there's actually a system that I have in place that can help you through this. So let's quick go over that. So what we're going to do is, instead of actually thinking in this way, which I call thinking in quarter notes. Thinking in quarter notes is basically thinking in the literal term, literal value of the notes. This is the literal values of the notes. But if we do what's called thinking in 16th notes, what we're going to do is we're going to times every single one of these by 4. Okay? So you have to like math a little bit to do this. First one's going to be 6. Second one's going to be 4, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay? Now what you're going to notice is that everything all the way across should equal 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the top line equaled 4, the bottom line times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Now if I asked you to count to 6, you probably could do that. If I asked you to count to 4, you could probably do that. So on, so on, so on. Now what we did is we made it to where we can actually count every single one of these notes equivalently, which is going to help us actually be able to do the rhythm. So let's actually go through and count the way we have at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay? Let me slow it down just a little bit, but I want you to notice that every number that I say is in a tempo. Bup, 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 bup. It's not bup, 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 bup. It's bup, 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 bup. I want you to notice that every number that I say is in tempo, is to the beat. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so this is actually the way this would sound going very, very slow. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, now like I said, I did that slow, but what we did is we broke it down into 16th notes. So now we can actually count it slowly. Now what happens is once you learn it this way, counting it this way, you're actually going to be able to do it faster later once you understand the rhythm. So you can speed it up. Ba, 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 ba. You know, then you can keep speeding it up. But at least you can learn it this way. If you have a tough rhythm measure, you can learn it properly by doing what I call learning in 16th notes. If you guys like this lesson, I can definitely talk more about thinking in 16th notes and thinking in different ways. Please email me if you have any questions. Typically, the first couple times people hear some of these things, if they've never heard rhythm, it can overwhelm them. But please, I tell you, it makes a huge difference if you work on rhythm. Playing in tempo, doing certain things in tempo makes you sound more rhythmic and makes the songs sound the way they're supposed to. It also makes it to where you could pick up a piece that you've never played before and be able to nail it from top to bottom without having to worry about, you know, am I doing this rhythm properly if you follow the system. So, and once you get the hang of it, this system can be done on a fly. So what I just showed you, I'm doing in my head on a fly. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, so on in my head. Now, this is more advanced. You know, obviously it's probably a lot simpler if you're just starting. The other rhythm is a lot simpler to understand. But this one, if you're more advanced, this is a good way to think about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me at rivertownviolin@hotmail.com. Guys, have a good day.